Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 89 of Push2Plat. I know we've had a couple of Xbox guests in the last few weeks, but we're swinging solidly back to the PlayStation today. We have the man, the myth, the legend. You would have to be under a rock not to know this man. He is, of course, the #1 trophy hunter in the world with a staggering 99,106 trophies, almost at 3K platinums. We'll get to that day. Of course, the all-important number, we joke aside, but he knows I'm never joking about this number, the 50,211 bronze trophies. It is, of course, Hakoom. He is a self-proclaimed trophy hunter from another world, a streamer and wonderful content creator. How are you today, Hakoom?
Fine, thank you. I'm happy to be again on your show.
We really appreciate it. Look, I want to jump straight in because this number, 99,106, it's a number that most of us are never going to see. It's been a long time in creation, obviously. Do you have something planned for 100,000, or do you just not care at this point? Whatever it is.
No. I always care about my milestones. I like to make them unique and something special. So I was thinking about my 100,000 or even the 3,000th platinum to be Street Fighter 5.
Ooh.
And I was hoping if I could hit 3,000 and 100,000 at the same time. I'm not sure if I could at the moment.
Well, I mean, it's possible.
It's a very complicated calculation.
That's right. The problem is there's so many short games here with, I know they're small trophy lists, but it's quite possible you'll hit the 3,000 plats before you hit the 100,000 trophies at this rate.
I will try then to play PSN 100% games.
Oh, no, don't do it. I forgot those games still exist as well. That's wonderful. So there's no let's go back a bit there with Street Fighter 5. I know you play a lot of fighting games. I'm surprised you've never played this one. Have you been holding on to it?
No, I have played it actually like 3 years ago or something. I just have one trophy left for the platinum. I saved it for platinum 3,000.
Okay, I like that. Look, there's a few things I want to talk about today, but one of the things that I want to start with, if we can, is this Fight Night Champion. So back before when you were on, it's been some time. You hadn't started this, and then I think you jumped into this straight after. You were doing some crazy things for this platinum. I see it's a 0.01%, which like why even the fuck bother, Hakoom? It's just not worth it. I see that you've done some of this in 2011, so this is like a 9-year platinum in progress. What made you go back to this, and what's the experience of platinuming this game like?
Well, first of all, Fight Night Champion was a nightmare to platinum. This has to be the worst online experience I've ever had in online games. I wanted Fight Night Champion because I don't know, it just clicked in my head that I wanted it, and I really loved that 0.01%. I mean, no game out there. I mean, it's very rare to find a game out there which is ultra rare at 0.01, not 0.1, 0.01. So there's a 0 before the 1, and that's really something really rare to see on games. I played that game back in 2011, I think, and I really enjoyed that game. The fighting mechanics, the graphics, everything was amazing in the game until EA released a patch and destroyed it. The online became a mess. Everybody started cheating online. They found exploits, glitches. And the issue was I had only 2 trophies left, reaching level 45 and level 60 online. The issue was in Fight Night Champion, if you win, you gain little. If you lose big. So let's say I gain 100 XP from a fight, or like 50 XP from a fight while I'm winning, and then when I lose I get minus 150 XP. So I lost, like I need to win another 3 more matches to make up for the loss I made, and that was really annoying once people started exploiting the game and cheating online. So I just left the game and I came back to it 11 years after, or 9 years after. I tried again, but then I found a method of boosting the game. The boosting was one of the worst experiences I have had in the last 11 or 12 years of my trophy hunting career. I mean, I've boosted many games, but this was the worst because you cannot find your alt account while fighting him once. You have to fight him 10 more times until you can find him again online. Like you have to fight 10 other battles to find the alt which you have defeated online. So that would be a waste of time. So I have created over 300 accounts on PlayStation and self-boosted it. Yeah, there was no other option.
Yeah.
I literally just placed the account on the PlayStation, boosted it, deleted it, and placed another account. Here's the catch though: when you put the account on PlayStation, you have to accept EA online terms, and that was not available in Fight Night Champion. So let's add more gasoline to the boosting thing and fire. I had to launch SSX, a game, and accept EA terms from another EA game to be able to play Fight Night Champion. Look how broken this is.
And that's for every account. You'd have to do that.
For every single account, I launch Fight Night. I cannot go online. I have to launch SSX or another EA game with online available online mode, and accept the terms through there. Actually, create an account and accept it. So you have to put an ID and password. It was like 15 minutes just to get into a match. 15 minutes. And then here's another sad part: when you play a match and boost it and win, it sometimes doesn't give you EXP. I have no idea why. Even when you repeat the match, there is no EXP. It's like just a dead account. So like 20 minutes in the bin. So that was really put like a mountain dropped on my head when I boosted that game. But once I finished boosting it and I earned that platinum, I had like a relief. I was like really, really, really happy. I finally managed to do it. And it's really, even when I tell you that I have boosted it, it's really worth 0.01. Even like, look at the method of boosting. Look at what I went through to boost this game.
There's just shy of 114,000 game owners on the profile site here, of which only 17 have platinums. By you describing the process there, I think you may be the last person to get it by the sound of it.
Yeah, because the servers are actually, I forgot to mention this, the servers closed down also. But luckily, the servers closed down just for 2 trophies, I think, or 3 trophies. Online mode is active, but EA usually removes some modes in the game, right? In their games, they always remove some small modes, and then the platinum is unobtainable for 1 or 2 trophies. And imagine 12 years since this game has been out. Only 16 people have platinum. I think that 17th will be removed soon. Yes. It's only 16.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. And as he refers to listeners, the rival gyms trophies, there's 3 of them that are unattainable now, as you say. Yeah. Can I ask...
The rival gyms,
yeah, roughly, just like approximately, how long did this boosting process take? How many weeks are we talking here?
Well, I really took my time in this. I didn't rush this. I just boosted 10 matches a day.
That's all you could do,
10,
I think.
It was enough for me. It was like putting a lot of stress on my head. So that 10, so I just don't feel it, If I boosted 100, I would really maybe puke while I'm playing. So I just boosted 10, and then I left it for the next day. I wasn't in a rush. There was nothing chasing me. So I just left it, and let's say 10 games, maybe 11 games per day for 300 accounts.
Yeah.
Maybe a month or something.
It's impressive. This is why you have 2,139 ultra rare and I have 3, because there is no way in hell I'm going through a process of like that. It's sort of.
Oh, I have 2,300 now. I thought I had only
2,100. Sorry, and 39. Yeah. Look, but by the end of this, you might have 2,300. I don't know. But it reminds you. I don't know. I'm sure you did because you've played everything. That chess game, and you only had to create 15 accounts, I think, or maybe 30 accounts for that, which is it's baby talk compared to this one. I like.
Yeah, that is baby talk. That
was painful.
The issue is not the account creation. The issue is getting the account on the PlayStation and then accepting the terms from another game. That was the hardest part.
That's great. And then, of course, you can only have 15 accounts on the PlayStation. 16. Sorry, look. Yeah. There you go. You can see, Hakoom, I've only been away from it for a few months, and I'm already forgetting all the intricacies. No, look. Now, I want to change directions hugely. I do want to come back and talk a little bit about what you have planned for 2021 with your gaming and your goals and things. But I stumbled across your YouTube channel the other day, and I saw this. Now, it's not technically gaming related, but I suppose it's anime, so it's close enough. You've been doing this series on Attack on the Titans, the final series, reaction videos, I think. So you have to tell me about this. This is wonderful.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do these reaction videos long time ago, but I thought then it's a chance to finally do it with the final season. I don't know. Have you watched the anime Attack on Titan?
I watched a little bit of the first season. Ages.
You have to complete it, man. That's the best anime you've seen.
Everyone tells me that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like every episode releasing gets rated 10 on IMDb, and it's getting one of the the highest rated episodes now since season.
This is the anime that the series is really good, but the games are not so good. Is that correct?
No, actually, the game is really good too.
Oh, okay.
I played part 1 and the game was really good.
Okay.
So I am really hyped to see season 4 finally complete. It's the final season. I said, why not make a reaction out of it? It's more content for me since I'm a content creator. And you can see it in this way. When it comes to me, I like to be different. I don't open a channel and just put one type of content like other people do. I just like to diversify, put many things on my channel. Maybe somebody wants to join my channel to watch trophy videos. Maybe somebody wants to join to watch my gaming reviews. Maybe somebody wants to join to watch reaction videos. So I like to diversify my content so it suits many people.
Yeah.
And not just one specific type of people.
I like that. It must be a nice break as well, because I see you've got your friends there, you're just sort of chilling out and watching it. Must be nice to actually put that PlayStation away for a minute and just chill out.
Yeah. Usually on Thursdays, I chill out with my friends. Yeah. Usually people say I have no friends and nobody. I'm just sitting in the house. Well, I can prove them wrong with that too.
Yeah. Well, look. Not that there's anything wrong with that, Hakoom, because we do have a lot of hardcore listeners here. So you know, they fall in all sorts of camps. But look, I like that. Now, I do want to come back. What's your sort of plan? I mean, you know, are you going to be going strong again in 2021? Is this 100K a milestone that you're going to slow down off of? What's the plan for Hakoom?
The plan is just the plan since I started trophy hunting. Play more games, get my hand on more games, try to platinum as many games as possible. Nothing is new. Once I get 100,000, I will aim for 200,000. I'm not stopping at 100,000.
No, I like that. The treadmill just keeps going, doesn't it? It's wonderful.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Now, there's been a wall of great games. It was so funny because I thought, getting towards the end of 2020, I thought, yeah, there's been a few good games, but there's not really much. And then having had a lot of time in January to go back through what released, particularly in the last 3 months or so, there's been a ton of stuff. I want to talk about some of this, particularly some of this PS5 stuff. But now you've had the console for a couple of months. How are you finding it? Are you still enamored with it? Do you still love it? The controller? What are your thoughts?
Yes, when I first got my PlayStation 5 from Sony, they sent me the console for reviewing. Like, I think 1 month early I earned it. I unboxed the console and it was really something special. And what I fell in love with the controller, actually. The controller for me is one of the best things I have tried. When you play these games and the haptic feedback kicks in, it gives you another experience in these games. So next generation for me is really the DualSense controller out of everything. It just gives you another experience while playing video games. And the issue with the PS5 at the start, you know, with every console launch, you don't see the full potential of the console. You will not find games which will really show you the full power of the console. So we have games releasing here and there, but nothing which is like a wow factor for now. But the games released are really good. I really enjoyed playing Spider-Man, Demon's Souls. Those games I really enjoyed playing.
Yeah, okay, we'll come back and touch on those. I just want to pick up on the controller because I couldn't get a PS5. They were very, very challenging to get in Australia and, you know, perhaps, you know, in 2024 when they become available again. But one of the things, because I do have the Xbox Series X, so I sort of understand how these next-gen machines look or whatever, but of course, you know, Xbox just stuck with the same controller, whereas Sony, you know, sort of revolutionized, I suppose, their controller. One of the things I hear a lot about, two games in particular, mainly the Call of Duty, the current Call of Duty, the feel of the haptic trigger actually changing between the weapons. Is that sort of correct, and can you really feel that?
Yes, when you swap weapons and shoot with the weapons, you really feel there is something different. So when you shoot with an M16 or you shoot with a sniper rifle, it feels totally different. When you reload your weapon, everything just feels different. I mean, you should really try it out. It's really hard to explain with words. You have to try it to know what exactly I'm talking about. I mean, you never tried the haptic feedback? None of your friends have it? Any mall or gaming shop?
Look, a friend has got the PS5, but he's being a bit of a prick about it, Hakoom, because they're very no. Look, he's lovely about it. I actually haven't tried it at all yet. He's not really it's ironic because he's not a hardcore gamer at all. In fact, he's about as far from a gamer as you can imagine, and he just sort of got very lucky the day they came out on the website and managed to secure one or whatever. And he's used it we've played a little bit of Gran Turismo just a handful of times, sport on on it. And yeah, I haven't tried any of these other games. The other one that I'd been told about as well was the Astrobot game that sort of shipped with it. And someone put in a comment up that I read that it almost felt like you could feel the wind when you were holding the controller. And I was like, wow, that's pretty intense. Yeah, so I do really look forward to that. I mean, one of the things that I'm enjoying so much about the Series X, and I'm sure it's the same for the PS5, is just the load times being so much quicker, and the fact that you can, put the controller down, go off, turn the machine off even, come back, and you're into that game so much quicker, I suppose.
Exactly, yeah. The loading is really fast on the PlayStation. Spider-Man, Godfall, these games just load in like 2-3 seconds. In comparison to some games which take like half a minute, 1 minute. It's very fast. Yeah.
Now, I wanted to ask you about this because, as I said, he's not a hardcore gamer, my friend that has one, so he wouldn't have a clue about this. One of the things I love about the Series X, Hakoom, as you know, I love to play 5 minutes of every game, sometimes 10 minutes. So it's wonderful to have like 8 games open at once and use this quick resume feature. Is there some sort of similar feature on the PS5 where you can shift between games? They sort of, in a stayed load or whatever? Or are you sort of loading in every time?
With the PS5, it's a little bit different than the Xbox. It's not the same. You can jump to other games, but it's not like the Xbox where it will put you exactly where you left off. It's a bit different.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, look, the funny thing is, like, I love my JRPGs or whatever, so I'm sort of okay at the moment without it. But I know as we go later on this year in Final Fantasy 16, if that ever happens, I'll have my arm twisted.
There is actually a game Square Enix is working on, one RPG exclusively for PlayStation.
Okay.
Project something, I think.
Yeah.
It's not Final Fantasy, but it's Project. I think I forgot the second name.
Yeah. Microsoft haven't bought Square Enix yet. Is that right?
No.
Well, we'll give it a week. We'll give it a week and see what happens.
I hope not, though.
Yes. No. I'm still surprised Sony hasn't made a move there, but perhaps they're so safely
I actually
aligned.
don't like when a company goes and buys another company. It's a bad move for me.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's an interesting point because, and I don't want to delve into this too much because I'm not sure if you follow this or if you have an opinion on it. But, of course, all this craziness going on with the stock market or whatever else and the game store and all this sort of stuff going on. But one of the interesting things I heard was that obviously this year they feel in the market that this will be the year that the big companies acquire a lot of small studios because perhaps it's been very tough in the last year with COVID to sort of survive and they need a financial safety net. So it does make you wonder potentially what maybe Sony, Microsoft, EA, Activision or whatever, what they might end up picking up in the next year or so.
Yeah, but when you talk about small studios, it's fine. They're indie games studios. But when you talk about AAA games like Square, Capcom, these companies, when you acquire them and just take them all to your company, for me this is a bad move. I rather have a company working under me without buying them, and this company will have many talented people working in it instead of just buying them. No.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I mean, indie studios too. I mean, look, it was as we said, we had a massive indie release at the end of the year. Yeah, it was a little rough. Sure, it didn't work on every system, but I mean that Cyberpunk, what an indie game, from such a small studio. It's phenomenal, really, isn't it?
Cyberpunk is not an indie game.
Well, with the way it ran, I sort of thought and looked. The way it ran, it's worse than an indie game. It just had a lot of people and money behind it, but ultimately it's an indie game. That's what people didn't understand.
I think CD Projekt got hit really hard with karma from Trophy Hunters because they backstabbed us with Gwent. So if you look back in the PSN profile forum, there is a thread about it, and I'm in it. And we were talking about it and how they backstabbed us, Trophy Hunters, with the server closures without any notification. And this what happened to them after they did this to us. They got hit really bad with Cyberpunk. I think it's just karma,
Yes. I did read that thread the other day, and I could imagine you just stroking a cat there, sort of laughing at the repercussions.
Yeah, I was really happy. Once they suffered losses and their game was broken. I was really happy.
Yeah.
Really.
So I suppose that means you're in no rush to play that game. Then I imagine.
I'm never gonna play it.
Yeah. That's it's funny, because we had towards the end of last year, Macca from Macca Guides or whatever on the Xbox side, and he sort of, I'm not sure whether he had advanced knowledge or whatever, because it was about a month before it came out, but he was very much pushing the fact that it wasn't going to be as stable and as strong as people were expecting. So
Yeah.
I think there was definitely words around the industry if you kept your ear close to the ground. But let's shift to some more positive games. Demon Souls. I mean, you've played it so many times now. What's it like on the PS5? I suppose this is the ultimate experience now for you.
Yes, Demon Souls on the PS5 is another game. I mean, it's the same game, the same storyline, the same gaming mechanics, but the graphics, they are from like a PS5 quality graphics. It runs at 60 frames. It's really smooth, and the world is all remade into the new world. It looks the same but upgraded. I released a review on YouTube about Demon Souls, and I really enjoyed the game. Demon Souls was one of the first tough games I've played on the PS3, and I've platinumed it the first time without a guide. Even I don't even know how I managed that. And now I will platinum it again on the PS5. But this time with a guide, of course.
Everyone tells me that is the game to play at the moment on the PS5. It'll really just blow you away. So I'm very eager.
But it's not for everybody.
Oh, of course. It's difficult.
Yeah. The PS5 version is actually easier than the PS3.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like easy as in, like, are we talking like a 3 out of 10 easy or like a 6 out of 10 easy?
No, like Demon Souls for me is a 6 out of 10. For me. For others, it might be an 8 out of 10.
And for me, it'll be an 11 out of 10. Excellent. I look forward to that. Well, look, the first 5 minutes must be okay. I mean, how bad can it be?
Until the first boss, you're good.
Yeah, that's right. Does it? Now, look, this is tragic, but I've never played the Demon Souls games, although I know of them. Is this a co-op one? Can I invite someone in, or is this not?
You can. You can.
Yeah, so I could be carried potentially, Hakoom.
You can be carried, and even invaders can invade you and kill you also.
Yes, I love that mechanic. As if I don't have enough troubles already with the game. Now other people can come in and take me out. And they always do. Fresh blood, they can feel it, Hakoom. They know.
You can get carried in the game, but it's better to just experience the game yourself the first time until you reach a point where you cannot proceed anymore. Then you can ask for help.
Yeah, I like that. I'm in a really unique point at the moment because I don't want to, I mean, obviously any of the PS5 games I'm not buying or playing because I don't have the system. And then a lot of the PS4 games that are sort of coming out or have come out since November, I'm sort of, if I decide that I want to play them on PlayStation, I'm not picking them up either because I want to play them on the PS5. But as a result, I'm playing a few on the Xbox. But of course, not everything is there. So it's a bit of a juggling act. And another game that interests me a lot, although I have heard pretty negative comments about this game, so perhaps you can tell me more about it because I really don't know a lot about it, is of course this Godfall.
Yeah.
What's this like?
I released my review the other day, and sadly the game isn't as good as when I first saw it. It's a hack and slash game, adventure game. The game mechanics are broken. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. You have to play it to know, but when you attack, and I don't know, sometimes you cannot see the enemies behind you. The camera angle is a bit dodgy. The lock-on system is broken. Even when you lock on the enemy, it doesn't actually lock on. The game is weird. The movement names, the special move names and everything is just confusing. Everything in the game is just confusing when you look at it. Imagine that I haven't upgraded my character until late end of the game. I didn't even know there was an upgrade system. It's like hidden somewhere in the house. You can't even see it.
Okay.
And there's a trophy now I'm stuck on, which you have to complete 50 towers. The game sometimes glitches on you, and it has to be played online. If you disconnect, you're gonna go back to the main menu, so it's like really annoying. There is no checkpoints.
Is this a bit like an Avengers experience? Like you think it's good when you start, and then as you get towards the end game, you realize it's really not?
I didn't play Avengers, but
smart move.
This game has been bad for me since I've played it. Since the first level. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it can be saved? I mean, we are still loosely in the launch window of a lot of these games in the console, or is this it?
Once you release a game, I don't think it can be saved if it's broken. Even if you release patches, people will just move on to new games.
Yeah.
Your game is only impacts on the first month or first week. Because this is when people want to buy it. They save their money to buy your game. After a month, another game is going to be released and people will just buy the other game. They're not gonna wait for this game. Maybe they will buy it, but it might be in the bargain bin by then for $20.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. I want to throw another fighting game at you because I know one of our listeners, he's just recently platinumed this game, and I'm not sure whether he enjoyed it or not. He was very cryptic throughout the experience. I see you've almost platinumed. It is the EA Sports UFC 4 game. How does this stack up for you?
Oh man, this game is another
Is that bad?
trashy online EA game.
Yeah.
The story mode is nice. I mean, when you play story mode, because you're playing against the AI, and there's no lag or anything, it's nice. But once you jump online, it gets bad, because EA loves to put these nasty trophies for you online, like win 6 in a row, win 4 in a row, stuff like that. And then there is this mode which is called Blitz mode, where you have to win 6 times in a row with special requirements, like you can just go in and use punches, no kicks, or you can just use kicks, or there is only 1 minute to play, stuff like that. They give you like these weird modes. The issue with this trophy is that they keep on matching me with people from America. I don't know why. I'm living in the Middle East. I should be matching against people in the Middle East or in Europe, closest to me. But they throw me against people in America with their pings being at 300 to 250. It's unplayable for me online. I even tried boosting it with 5 consoles. It's not working. Sometimes I find my partner and sometimes I don't. It keeps searching for 3 minutes. On 3 consoles, none of us find each other, and then it just throws me against a random with 300 ping. Why would you match me with somebody with 300 MS when I have somebody with 10 MS on the same network? It's just weird.
Yeah. This is notorious of fighting games, though, isn't it? I don't understand this either. Okay, that's interesting. Now, look, we'll come back to the games. There's a couple more I want to ask about, but I just want to deviate to streaming for a moment if we can. I know that you've been doing more and more streaming over the last year, and I did some research the other week, and I thought I'll jump on Twitch and see where you are. And then, of course, you're not there anymore. You're now on this No Live streaming service,
Yes.
which I'd never heard about. So tell me a little bit about this and why you migrated over there.
Yeah, I was first streaming on Twitch, and I didn't like Twitch much. The customer service there is rubbish. None of them reply to you when you email them. It's like a dead platform for me. So I moved on to YouTube. When I went to YouTube, I liked it more. It was organized more. And suddenly I got an email from Nono Live asking me to join them with an exclusive 1-year deal. So I was happy about it, and I went and joined them. It's a new platform, Chinese, run by Chinese people. And it's slowly becoming bigger and bigger. They're recruiting people to their platform. And the good thing about this platform is when you join it, you only see people from your region. Like if you go on Australian Nono, you'll only see Australian people. If you go on the Arab Nono, you'll see Arabs. It's like organized. Of course, if I want to see somebody from Australia, I can. Not saying you can't. But when you just open the Pro app, you will see your guys there. You're from your region.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's interesting. I wondered if you'd signed some sort of a deal with them because I spent a little bit of time playing around with it, and they do seem to be like, and again, look, I don't use a lot of Twitch or whatever, but I watch occasionally on there, and it seems to be like you just discover people from randomly clicking around and stuff, whereas this, it almost seems to build up, idols, for want of a better term. I suppose you don't like that term, but that thing where you're actually going for that person, and it's about, establishing a community with that person or whatever else, and there's a quote, "They never feel lonely again, follow your person," or whatever else. And I really like that sort of a greeting when I load it up, as opposed to Twitch, where I'm just like, good luck sort of thing.
Yeah, it's the platform, the Nono platform needs a lot of work. It doesn't have this. The good thing about Twitch, it has this game thing. You can see all the games and everything. On Nono, it's a bit limited to like mobile games and PC games. Not much with consoles, but you can still stream from a console. I have signed a 1-year contract with them. Yes, it is a contract, 1-year exclusive contract. I only stream on their platform. And I'm really enjoying it. It's nice there. I stream daily there, every single day.
Yeah, okay. Is that, now that you're having to stream daily, do you enjoy that? Because, I know there's, streaming every now and then when you want to is one thing, but now having to do it as part of a work arrangement, I suppose, almost. Are you enjoying that?
Yes, of course. Since it's my job now, why wouldn't I enjoy it?
Well, I don't. Well, it's good that you enjoy what you do. You have to love what you do. I think that's really important. I like that. Okay, now if we can just switch back to a couple more games, if you don't mind. This Habroxia 2, so it's releasing, in the next day or two as a time of recording. Of course, the sequel to Habroxia from Lilimo Studios, it went down pretty well, and an arcadey side-scrolling shoot 'em up. How is the second one? Is it a bit longer? What do you think?
Yeah, the game is a bit longer. It has many levels, many bosses, upgrades. But at the end of the day, it's a shoot 'em up game, just a side scroller. But I enjoyed playing it. It's really a nice game and fun to play. Nothing hard about it except for one trophy. But the actual game is not that hard, and it's not frustrating at all. I liked it.
Okay. I mean, the first one was also notorious for trophy hunters because there were multiple stacks and a Vita version. I noticed this has a Vita version as well. I mean, we sort of class it here perhaps as spam. It's a wonderful trophy score game. Is this going to fall in the same category? It's not too long, it's worth stacking? Or
I think there's just one stack for this, or how many stacks are there?
It looks like there'll be Vita versions as well, separate stacks.
Because I think there was just one stack for the game. One Vita and one PS4. That's it. I think. I'm not sure though. I'll have to ask around.
I think they've put a couple. Yeah, I think there may be a couple more that are coming up now, so I'm sure they're going to cash in wherever they can. Now, because we've moved to these sort of spammy short games, and I know. Look, we're gonna tread carefully here, but I have to ask, as I saw this on your list. I don't know if you remember this wonderful gem, the Aborigines. It's by Zitalon, this publisher and developer. They're notorious on the Xbox. We haven't seen much of their stuff yet on the PlayStation. They're notorious Hakoom because they're a funny developer in that they altered their achievement list well after the game had been out. They reduced the game's length down to like a couple of minutes, and now they've done in effect what we're doing on PlayStation with stacking in a slightly different way. With the same list, they're just adding achievements, and they're adding it from 1,000 all the way up to 5,000. But what they're adding is not changing the game in any way or adding anything to the game. They're literally just adding achievements. This Aborigines. Do you remember this one?
I don't. The name. How do you spell it? Maybe I can check it.
Yeah, ABOR.
Okay.
IGEN.
Yeah, okay. I found it. I played this. I don't think I played this.
It's not great.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. What is this game?
It's a sort of a platformy, sort of 2D side scroller.
Let me remember one. Sometimes I play games I don't even remember because it's just like.
It's very forgettable. It's definitely a trophy.
Yeah,
game.
That's why I finished it in like 15 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Oh, this game. Yeah. Okay. I don't even know how to pronounce the name.
No. Well, look, it's strange. It had some sort of a story, but more to my point, I assume this studio.
Yeah. I remember this game. Yeah, I remember. I actually streamed it even. I streamed it on Nono.
Yeah, I assume this will be the next Ratalaika for PlayStation, perhaps even more value, because, as I said, they're just adding achievements. I'm not sure how this is going to work on the PlayStation without adding any more game. You literally just play one more level or you play the level again, which is, it's a little bit, hit and miss or whatever. We haven't seen anything like this on PlayStation yet. I know we have a ton of short games through Sometimes You, Ratalaika. These are, these horrific Brick Breaker games as well that seem to be just spewing out every 2 weeks now as well. The same game reskinned. Are you ready for another player in this field of short games?
I mean, it's fine to add more trophies to a game like DLC, but don't stack. I started to hate stacks. I don't like stacks.
Yeah. No, look, I can understand that. I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting if they move that way, because they haven't moved into stacks, obviously, on the Xbox by just adding the score. But look, I guess we'll see. I have to ask you about this game. You have probably only played 5 minutes of it, though, so you may not remember it. I quite enjoy this, but it's janky to the extreme. You played it recently, though. Those Who Remain. I think perhaps you've just started it.
Those Who Remain. Yeah, it's a horror game. I've been streaming it for the past week.
Yeah. Why did you choose this game?
I just saw it. It's a 2-hour platinum, so I went for it.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it. I think. And then
the issue is with these games, you have to watch a guide to play it. You cannot just play it. This is what I hate about it. So I can't enjoy it.
Yeah, it probably doesn't make it great for streaming then, I imagine, either.
No, it's fine. I have like 2 monitors, one with the video guide and one playing on one, so it's fine.
See, this is why you have so many trophies, Hakoom. This is why I'm falling behind.
Well, I have 5 monitors in my room.
Yeah, yeah. No, I saw a picture of your new setup. It looks very nice. Yeah.
My setup isn't completed yet, sadly.
Oh, really?
Once I complete it, I will make a big video about it.
Good. Well, look, I want to just transition there then, if we can. Now, I saw before your PS5 arrived, it was a perhaps slightly later day or something. I don't know how long, but you got this wonderful. It looked like Perspex, but perhaps glass. I'm not sure. Case for it with you know the wording on it as well. How did this come about? Because this is pretty cool.
Yes, it's an acrylic case, I think. Sony should have sent me that with the PS5 so I can unbox it with the case, with that glass-looking case. Sadly, some shipment issues, with Corona and stuff, nothing went smoothly. The case arrived 1 week later, so I couldn't do the unboxing with the case. That should have been with the unboxing video, but it did not arrive with it.
Okay. Well, you can see pictures of this though if you're interested, listeners. It's very cool, and it has, of course, the tag, I suppose, for PS5 Play has no limits imprinted on it as well. Is this going to be something that sits on the shelf, or is this going to be an active system for you?
I haven't thought about it for now. So far, I just have it with the PlayStation 5 box inside. But I was thinking in the future maybe I would put some stuff in it and put some RGB lights in it and put it somewhere on a shelf or something, or hang it somewhere in the room so it looks nice. But for now, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it.
I like that. I mean, you must be acquiring such a wonderful collection of collectibles anyway. So I'm very jealous.
I'm not a collector. I mean, but I get a lot of things, yes, from companies.
Yeah, I like that. Now, look, I want to ask in a moment what you're sort of planning on playing for the rest of the year, if there's anything you're anticipating. But I just noticed this game that I've been on the fence about. I see it's supposedly quick, but by quick it's 2 hours, and I don't know, it just looks maybe more frustrating than it's worth. It's by the Victory Road, or whatever they call themselves now, this Caves and Castles Underworld. It's 2 stacks. I mean, we have a lot of spammies that listen to this show, Hakoom. Is this, what is this like? I think it's a cheat code, is that right? Is that how this game works for the Easy Plat?
Which game?
Caves and Castles Underworld. 2 stacks,
Caves
NA
and
and
Castles. Let me see. There's a lot of games called Caves and Castles.
Yeah. This looks very forgettable too.
Yeah, another game which I played. Yeah, you can just skip through it. I remember this.
Yeah. Okay.
See, I've been playing so many games I can't even remember their names anymore. How sad is that? I average around 50 games a month now, so. It's
crazy, isn't it? Because some of the length as well, but you've got the longer ones in there. But it's so funny because I had a New Zealand guest on last week from the Xbox side, a very high profile New Zealand player, or whatever, high volume player as well, and he said to me that he just made a decision last year just to stop buying games because he just has a massive library or whatever. And he of course, Hakoom, he still bought some because you're going to, aren't you? You're a gamer. But he said it was the first time he's really ever managed to get his teeth into what he actually has and to start finally working through the backlog. Obviously for you have a lot of time to play as well. It's your job, as you say. Yep. But for many of us, I think it's getting to the point of we need to cut ourselves off for a while just so we can catch up.
No, for me, I will keep on playing and playing and playing. I'm averaging, like I said, 40 to 50 games a month. Many of these indie games I don't even remember. You mentioned 2 games, I can't even remember them. But I remember this castle game I played recently. You can just use a cheat code to skip through the entire game.
Yeah, many of them are forgettable. Now, look, I have to ask here for our Patreon, Osero, obviously a mutual friend. He's going to be very delighted that you started this game. I assume you're going to finish it at some point. He is a big fan of these games, this Tropico 6.
Oh, I love that game.
Do you? He's always
I love
on
games
about
like
these
Tropico.
games.
Tropico, and then you have that other game, City Skylines.
Yes.
Then you have... I bought another game today. It was like Tropico, I think. I forgot the name. Avon Planet or something. It's called Avon Planet Avon, something like that.
That's from a few years ago, yeah? Yep.
Yeah, I saw a discount on it on the PlayStation. It's been discounted, so I just went and grabbed it.
Have you done that City Skyline? Oh, you have. I didn't.
I have, yes. I have.
For the Plat. That's the one with
Avon Colony. That's the name of the game. Avon Colony.
Yes. Yeah, I've played a little bit of that. That was a few years ago. That Skylines is the one with a ton of DLC. Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I think I've done few DLCs, not all though.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I like that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, look, I have to ask. I know I'm not putting you on the spot here. I've already read your answer on profiles anyway, but I want you to say it because I laughed at it. Obviously, the crazy man from Japan who has a credit limit bigger than all of us is determined to play one trophy of every game under the sun. He's slowly making progress towards you. Do you think he's going to catch you eventually? And I know what you think about his gaming. Obviously, we have a laugh about it,
The real question is, once you pass me, can you keep up the pressure? I don't mind anybody passing me, but because I am a person who relies mostly on endurance, will he be there for the next 5 years? Will he be there for the next 10 years? I'm a person who will keep continuing my path. It doesn't matter who catches up to me. I know these people below me. I know what they exactly do. But that's not my concern. I will just focus on my own profile, hunt the trophies, play the games, finish the games, and continue my path. And we'll see what happens in 5 years.
Yeah. I think that, that's all you can do. And look, to be honest with you, I think he's going to run out of games anyway. I think.
That's true. But like I mentioned earlier, can he keep up for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years? Will he be there? Will he stop?
Yeah, I like that. And as you've said today, you're going nowhere. Obviously, you're still getting a huge amount of passion from gaming.
Yeah.
You are.
I have achieved my objectives. I have got recognition from companies. Sony has recognized me. I get deals from them. I'm partnered with them. So I got into Guinness. So I'm really happy.
Yeah.
People passing me or not passing me, I've completed my objective in gaming.
Yeah, I know. And as I've said before, look, this is not an ass kiss or something, listeners. I don't care for any humans pretty much, as you know, but I do think you're a very good role model for PlayStation. I think we're severely lacking. I think part of that is PlayStation's own fault for not acknowledging personalities or enough personalities. But I do think you're a wonderful, asset, to the community and the community at large as well. Because in the last, and I know you've been doing this for some time, but I've noticed particularly in the last year or two, you are traversing more than just the trophy community now with your content. And we talked today with your reaction videos with YouTube as well. So I think that's wonderful. Are there any games you're anticipating for this year? Is there anything you're waiting for?
Yes, of course. Horizon 2, Ratchet and Clank, God of War, if it releases this year. I doubt it, but they said it's going to release this year. We'll see about that. Those are the top 3 games I'm looking forward to.
There's a lot to look forward to. I'm hoping I can extend the branch again to you in the future, and we can perhaps talk some of these big titles, Hakoom. Now,
yes, of course.
Just in case anyone's trying to find you, if they don't already know, how can they find your content? Where can they find you to follow on?
I am mostly active on Instagram. That's my most active platform. Then it's YouTube. I put some videos there, but mostly on Instagram. And if people want to ask me a question, they can always join me on Discord, or they can send me an email.
Look, the last part here is purely selfish, Hakoom, but I have to ask. I made a mistake about 6 months ago. I accepted a friend request from somebody that plays Fortnite, which it's ridiculous, I know. I don't play that game, but as a result, I got an influx of people, and I just accept anyone, Hakoom. Again, that's not a good practice. I would not necessarily encourage that, but you do meet a lot of interesting people this way, Hakoom. And anyway, it's come to my attention that I have a lot of followership now from the Fortnite community, but they're no interest in me at all. They just want to keep knowing about you. So I have to tell them that because I remember your words, the bus has closed on that, hasn't it? That you're not accepting friend invites from 14-year-old Fortnite players. Is that correct?
No, I only add friends when I'm playing games with them, or if I know the person in real life. I have no other reason just to add random people. There is no reason. Why would I add you? I don't know you, you don't know me, we're not doing anything together. Why would I just flood my friends list with people, and then when I want to try to go send a message to somebody or try to invite somebody to a party, I get lost in my friend list trying to find that person? Why?
Yes, yeah, well, look, I totally agree, but look, I find it amusing, so I will act as the in-between, I suppose. I have no influence here at all, 14-year-olds, so you can leave me alone if you so wish. But at least, Hakoom, you have a strong fan base. And what's wonderful about these people are they're all trophy hunters with 10 platinums, which is wonderful to see, because we all started somewhere.
Of course, yes, we all started somewhere, and I hope one day to see you also with 100,000 trophies. You'll get there, you'll get there. If you continue, you'll get there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And look, we're never going to end. So I do want to thank you so much for your time tonight, Hakoom. I know it's very early in the morning there. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No problem, man. Anytime.
It's always lovely to speak to Hakoom, to hear someone who's so passionate about the games and this system that we all love to play and who has been doing it for so long. It's sort of inspiring in a way, isn't it? You know, just pushing us all on in our own goals, whether they be trophies or games. He's an incredibly approachable dude and he's always been so generous with his time. It's one of the great things about doing this show that I've got to know him better, become a friend there as well across this. And I do appreciate his time greatly. So listeners, let's jump into a couple of, well, I'm going to call them gems, I suppose, for this week, although it's a little bit of a mixed bag, I suppose. I'll start very briefly with The Medium by Blooper Team. Of course, this only available for the Xbox Series X and the PC, billed as the first truly next-gen game, or at least the first next-gen game on the Microsoft side, not coming to the base Xbox. Of course, Blooper Team are not a first-party studio, so it's a great pickup by Microsoft to get not only this game to debut on their system, but also via Game Pass. So if you have the Game Pass, there's really no reason why you shouldn't carve out the 8 hours or so it will take to play this game. We did a really wonderful deep dive on this game with Levi and Tanner last weekend, and that is available on the Push2Plat channel, or all our podcasting services as well, if that so does interest you. But, you know, look, maybe if you're a PlayStation gamer, hold off, because their previous games, The Witcher included, have come to the PS4 down the track, so perhaps this one will as well. But look, if you don't intend to play it, at its base, it's a horror game, but it's more of a psychological horror. There's maybe a jump scare in there, but it definitely doesn't play on that element. It's a slow build of tension. Yes, there's a little bit of stealth, but it's nothing crazy like you'd expect in games like The Evil Within, you know, this creeping around. It never reached that intensity for me. The real play in this game, I suppose, the real trope, if you like, is the use of the camera. It's a behind the shoulder camera, if you like, but it's a fair way back. Now, not only that, at times it splits the screen both horizontal and vertical as you move between the spirit world and the real world. It's really something to behold. And as we discussed in the deep dive, you think it's going to be a cheap gimmick, but then you sort of realize how much of the game it opens up when you can in fact have two parallel worlds running at the same time, whether it be collectibles or doors in one world that aren't, openable in the other world. One of the interesting mechanics, especially, well, for me, because I don't play a lot of local co-op, so I'm not used to the split screen, is having my eyes drawn to one screen or the other, and it sometimes at the detriment to being able to move forward. But look, it was a really enjoyable experience. I don't classify it as a full-on Resident Evil style horror or a Visage or something like that. So if you're not a horror gamer, there's still, this is a safe game, I suppose, to play. And if anything, it's almost like a little bit Stranger Things. It draws you in with the story as opposed to the gore or the cheap scares or anything else. And as I said, if you've got the time, why not dive in and try it for yourself, particularly if you have the Game Pass where it is available for free. But remember, because they're not first party, it may not always be there for free, so don't sleep on it for too long. Throwing some love back on the PlayStation side, although of course also on the Xbox and Xbox Series X and PC, is the Control Ultimate Edition. I imagine many of you are getting into this game, perhaps for the first time, with the recent release with PS Plus. Of course, this game now with the Ultimate Edition, all DLC included, the 2 expansions, of course 2 base stacks of this game available in the rest of the world and the JP, and I believe there may even be 2 stacks on the PS5. I haven't looked into that. The reason I bring this game up is that I did play it close to launch, but I never got into the DLC or whatever else. Now, I know there is no save transfer over between the PS4 and PS5 versions, which is a little bit unfortunate. I experimented with the assist mode, which was never there when I first played the game, and I don't know how I feel about it. It's one of the things I remember about that game was that it was difficult, and I know someone in the Discord, Mr. Spooky, gave me some shit there about it could be my skills. Now, it definitely is, but it was still a little bit difficult. And having this assist mode, you can add things like, snap-on locking or aiming or whatever, automatic health regen, or even, invincibility, one-hit kills in particular, which make this game just a breeze or a walk in the park. And depending on some of the boss fights that were quite challenging, depending on your loadouts, particularly if you hadn't developed your loadouts in the game, this one-hit kill, the boss fight's over before the thing's even risen off the ground or something or moved forward. So it's an alternative way to play it. I think I've heard a lot of people say the combat in this game is not great. I think it's unique or whatever else. Maybe the map is not great, but I think the combat is okay. It's definitely unique in its own ways, and it definitely lends to building out your loadout and upgrading your weapons, even though, it doesn't explain that, particularly well. But look, it doesn't explain a lot of things in the game. That's sort of the attraction of it. So, look, I don't know. We're all time poor or whatever. I suppose that's a great excuse to whack on the assist mode, but you will really lose the oppressive nature of the game, because it's an amazing thing to discover and to wander around these environments and to try and figure out where the fuck you are, in the dark half the time, as well as the map overlays itself and it doesn't make clear what level you're on. But if you don't have the enemies, or if they have no power against you or something, it does take that oppressive nature of the game away. But having said that, if you just don't want to deal with that or whatever, I ran through the story with the assist mode on, and I'd say I probably finished it in around 6 hours. I didn't do all the side quests or whatever, but enough to, experience all that again and the main story, because I did that. I wanted to get into the DLC, and I wanted to experiment with whether this would make the platinum easier, because I've had a PS4 version hanging on for those extra ability points forever, and I can confirm it definitely does, because there's a huge amount of easy ability points in the first DLC that's just locked to story progression. So if you're not hugely worried about 100%ing the whole game and you're just after the platinum, I would just play it naturally straight into that first DLC. That'll also hold true for the documents. Of course, if you are worried about the trophies, I think you need to collect every document in that first DLC, which would be a nightmare as nothing is marked. But look, having moved into that first DLC, the two things struck me. It's really leaning into that sort of extraterrestrial, otherworldly horror, which I really like. There's the long shadows, all these corridors under the ground. I was surprised how much platforming was in this first DLC, and a little bit of, I suppose, more puzzle elements. I know there was some very easy puzzles in the base game, but there's a few more back now or whatever else. So I'm really enjoying it. I can't wait to get into the second DLC. It's been a long time coming to finally see what it's like, but it did open my eyes to how much of an easy platinum this could be. I'd even want to go out and say you could probably do it in 8 to 10 hours, particularly if you've played it before, possibly a lot less if you know where you're going. One thing that I'll put out there, I obviously have not played this on the PS5, so I don't know. But on the Xbox Series X, I was a little bit disappointed in the ray tracing. It's locked at 30 frames per second. And while it does look good, it's very sluggish. And for me, it was just too difficult to play on. Even just turning a quarter turn, the whole world sort of shifts. It's just a little bit too much. But playing it on the 60 frames locked, it's fantastic or whatever else. And I think that's how it runs on the PS5. One thing, again, I noticed Xbox specific, when I was pushing up to look at the map, every now and then, and it's probably happened about 8 times in 8 hours, so once an hour or so, the game would actually just automatically close completely. I don't know why, or whatever else, and hang, and then reload. Obviously, it only takes less than a minute to reload in, but you'd be back on the previous checkpoint, and as those who have played the game know, it can be some time between checkpoints, so just be careful perhaps if you're pushing that up, and I'd be fascinated to know if that is a problem on the PS5. While it's a great game and it's an amazing game to get for free, and I mean that's a whole nother issue of putting the game on sale, the week before on the PlayStation Store, only to turn around and give it away for free. There's think of that as you will or whatever. It does strike me as a bit of a lazy port. I was expecting more, particularly on the ray tracing. I think this pushing up thing is unforgivable, especially as often as it's happened with the map and closing out. But, if you can put all that aside or whatever, and if you got it for free, you definitely should be able to. It's an amazing game. If you don't want to deal with the mechanics, then put on the one-hit kills and the invincibility and just enjoy the bizarre story. And if you've got the time, read the collectibles you pick up, because it does flesh out the world completely. In fact, it'll change your whole perspective, I think, on the game. That is Control, the Ultimate Edition. The last one I'll drop on you today is Poker Club by Ripstone, the developer Ripstone. I've been playing this game on and off now for 2 months, and I've held back on talking about it because when it did release, it was completely broken, well, at least on the Xbox. I understand perhaps even worse on the PS4, PS5. The developer has done some work in fixing it, but because it's ultimately an online game, it should have perhaps been better beta tested, or something should have happened, because when they released it, it was clearly an early access, despite the fact they were charging full price for it. It's much more stable now. It doesn't crash or anything like that. I understand there could be sort of delays in trophy popping and stats, but people are getting the plat or they're getting the 1000G. It does have 2 stacks on the PS4, the NAEU, and of course a PS5 stack, just the one list on the Xbox. At its essence, it is a online poker game, I suppose, but it does have an interesting element to it that a lot of the games like Prominence Poker in particular, which I think is probably the best showing and perhaps may still be the best showing even with this game in circulation, it does offer a story mode, and I put that in hyphens because there's no cutscenes here, there's no real text or story build out, but well, you sort of progress through a career, I suppose. So you start off with so much money, and yes, you get your daily cuts every time you log in or whatever else. At the time of playing this, it didn't have currency you could buy, unlike Prominence Poker. So, if you're a little bit addicted to those microtransactions and a gambling game may set that off completely, that could be something to consider, the fact that you buy in and you're into this game. But anyway, back to the single player mode. It does have there, I suppose, a grouping of stages, I should say, and you can 3-star each stage depending on certain requirements, maybe busting so many players, doubling up your total money or whatever. It moves between ring game and tournaments, but there's not a lot of variety. It's not a lot of like head up or 3-handed or 6-handed. It's all no limit poker as well. There's no Omaha here. There's no draw, no 5-card, no even hold'em. So it's a little disappointing on that front, but graphically it does look really good. I mean, if you're playing online poker for the look of the cards, then perhaps this is it. But again, if you've played online poker before, one of the things you appreciate is the speed of the game. This game is not fast. It makes you wait on every player, and I understand it's live, so you have to wait, but there's no timer imposed, or if there is, it's a very loose timer, so they can take forever, and the animations, it slows it down, and it's not really what you want in a card game. Well, not what I would have wanted in a card game, but that aside, it has all the tropes that Prominence Poker has. You can have your drink on the table. You have plenty of clothes and customizable items, and hats. Hats are important, of course, in there as well. It does have a club system as well. Overall, the trophies and achievements, they're fairer. There's still one for contributing 50 million chips to a club and one for winning 100 million, but that is achievable, unlike the 1 billion bankroll required in Prominence Poker, which I see somebody's done, but it's not achievable for the rest of us in a normal mortal lifespan, I don't think. I don't know what this game, whether I'd recommend this game or not. If you're a poker tragic, there's really not a lot of options on the console. I think this is the only option with a platinum as well, so that could be of consideration as well. They are continuing to improve it all the time. One of the issues still is that the AI players don't always fill the tables or don't fill them very quickly, so you can be waiting sometimes for quite a while, and because you're predominantly playing in the career mode, if there aren't other players playing at the same time as you in the level of the career that you are in the events you are, you could be sitting on that table for, it seems like a random amount of time, 5, 15 minutes, 1 minute, for the AI to fill the places. It does seem to fill them quicker in the tournaments though. Of course, if you're going to play the tournament, you've got to actually, factor in the couple of hours you're going to need there as well. So it does, in some ways, play a little bit more like real-world poker and times there. It's an interesting premise. It promises a lot, but I think, unfortunately, it's fallen short. But it will be interesting to see what Ripstone do in the future. So a little buyer beware there, I suppose. Spam of the week, and boy are there some gems for you this week. We have to start with this company first. Look, they are just knocking it out of the park, proving that you don't need to make a new game. You can just reskin the game over and over and over and over again and still charge more than any Plat. Well, any Plat that's not a VN. And of course, this is the wonderful Valentine candy break. That's right, it's not head-to-head this time. This time you're just playing yourself while emptying your wallet for the Platinum. Congratulations. Unfortunately not available yet on the Xbox. Now we have a bit of a sale this week on the store. Well, at least until the 18th, and this is the developer Saybeck Ltd. They're all 100% games, all a little bit janky, but it's spam. You enjoy the jank. There are double stacks here for all these games, EU and NA. We have the darts, the fight, the chess, and the party trivia. Look, I haven't played the chess one yet. It's ready to go though, but all the others can be done in 30 minutes to an hour. Some benefit from a turbo controller, but none of them are really required. Next off, we have the Radar Spam Plat of the week. It's How to Take Off Your Mask Remastered. It is a VN available in 4 regions, EU, NA, JP and AS for the PS4, or just the single stack for the Xbox. Got a bit of loose change in your pocket? Well, let's see if we can help you alleviate that burden. Spice and Wolf VR2 surely will. Yeah, it's kind of pricey for a 100% VR game, but it can be done in all of 5 minutes. Look, I haven't diverged into this game yet, but if it's similar to the first one, it'll be a few collectibles, a few random text choices. Maybe it's not even that involved this time for your hard-earned dollars. Glittering Sword. It's a top-down sword boy hack and slashy type game. There is a cheat code that will help you bypass most of the game, I believe, or the puzzles at least, to make this a somewhat short, I'm going to say an hour and a half plat, but I'm sure you'll get it in 2 hours. Check out the guides for more info. And the last one I've got for you today, it's not a bad game, I'm told, although again a little pricey for an indie game. It is the Silver Chains. It'll take you about 90 minutes with a guide. It's a horror game inspired by PT. It was originally released on PC in 2019, now making its way to both the Xbox and PlayStation. It's a little bit of a budget title in performance with voice acting and graphics, and it does have 4 missable trophies. But hey, for 90 minutes, it's an easy plat. Might as well get on it. And that is your spam of the week. So that brings us to the Push2Plat Platinum community shoutouts. Of course, if you want a shout out, jump in the Discord or the free to join community on the PS4. But just before we kick off that this week, just a quick update on the now or never, the 10 games for this year, any games, any system. Zador VP, he's out in front with 4 of 10 completed. 3 Spooky, 5 U2 with 2 of 10 completed. CJ, that's me, I've done 2 as well off the back of Aegis, Grim and the Medium. James with 1 out of 10, Levi with 1 out of 10, and MZ Nitro also 1 out of 10. And of course the wonderful Ponder Stibbons, he's got 5 of 10 in various states of completion, with all of them being sort of trilogies or more, so he's also killing it at the moment. But let's take a look at these hunters and huntresses for this week. They all deserve special praise. They have all been busy. Let's start with Zuche, number 63, Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. It's one of the few Lego games that I've never played, sir. Congratulations. Vigilant Crow, Platinum number 47, Rainbow Moon. I'm not that familiar with these games. I know they're pretty grindy, massive games. They're sort of Japanese. They got farming, they got fetch quests, they got a bit of everything, but that's a worthy Platinum, so congratulations. Gaz Davis 11, number 76, with the classic, the tried and true classic, Assassin's Creed 2. Collecting those feathers was a bit of a nightmare, but got there in the end. It's more than a bit of a nightmare, sir. It's a goddamn nightmare, that is. I remember following the guide. Nothing's marked. Oh, it's a travesty of patience, but well done, sir. I'm glad for you that that's behind you, and I'm sure you are as well. Zador VP, number 486, State of Mind, Daedalic Entertainment's newest adventure game from 2018. A very interesting cyberpunk story that lets you take control of a lot of playable characters before the story is over. Enjoyed it quite a bit, even if they did shoehorn in pointless puzzles that didn't fit the game. Yeah, I've played this one as well, so I really enjoyed it. From my memory, it's the father and his son, and they're going around doing things. I remember you could play a little bit of piano in there for a trophy as well, and I believe throughout the game there's a couple of divergent paths which have trophies off, so perhaps you want to check a guide if you're trying to do that in the one playthrough with save states. But I don't believe it was that long either. It was good though, it was very good. Number 487 for Zador VP, Wintermoor Tactics Club, a fun visual novel Final Fantasy Tactics style strategy game hybrid for the PS4, which I played on PS5. It even had a reference to Finland. Congratulations, sir. EDJ3DG, he's got a massive one for us. Number 70, Max Payne 3. It's a beast of a platinum, sir. Congratulations. What an incredible test of patience in the grind, as well as the skill factor in this game as well. And he says of it, been a long time coming, but this hands down has to be one of my proudest platinums. The Shadows Rushed Me trophy was a wild ride. It had its ups and downs, but I finally got lucky. The level 50 trophy, on the other hand, and the amount of mindless grinding for 30 hours of doing the same chapter 620 times. My goodness, never again. Wow, I don't think I've done anything 620 times in my life. Well, maybe one thing 620 times, but congratulations, sir. You must be a pro at that by now. It is time to go outside. Indeed it is, sir. Or, like the characters in-game would say in chapter 4.1, time to see what's waiting outside for us. Well, it ain't gonna be a warm cup of milk and a blowjob. Wow. It's probably worth playing the game just for that line. Maybe not 620 times. You'd be chafed, wouldn't you, with that? But look, you'd get it right eventually, wouldn't you? Well done, sir. MZ Nitro, number 27, Life is Strange, another classic. I don't know where you are in this series, sir, if you're slowly moving through them. I hope so, and I'll be interested to see what you think of Life is Strange 2 as they further embark on this movie-esque, highly narrative style of game that they seem to be embracing there at Don't Nod. Onyx, his first platinum of 2021. It's a bit of a slow start for you, sir. You've obviously been busy. Congratulations, Wreckfest. It's a worthy takedown. What a wonderful game. If you haven't played this racing game, it's a combination of demolition derby, circuit. There's couch racing in here, multiplayer. You can ride on a lawnmower. It's got everything. And for about a 20-hour platinum, sure, you've got to be a little careful with the online, as he says, with the region-locked lobbies. But that aside, it's a really enjoyable game, and a game you don't have to buy the Ultimate Edition for. The extra content and cars, there's no trophies for that, so the base game is enough. Ed the Shed 2014. Look, I called him out on throwing in more spam last week, and he's done it. He's over-spammed me, which is wonderful. So I haven't spammed this hard since I was 18. Number 185 and one. Who are we kidding? Number 185 and 186. How to Take Off Your Mask Remastered. PS4, EU, and NA. Someone, I know you haven't read this either, sir, so I can say this because I didn't either, but someone's got to read this and see what the hell it is about, because it could be good. It could be dreadful too, but look, we will never know, which is, travesty on both our parts, I'm sure. Number 187 and 188, Arog, Arog, A-R-R-O-G, EU plus NA stacks. I played this last week. It's the mobile game, light puzzler. It's very abstract. It's almost surrealist in its sort of depiction of Africa and all the animals in the shadow world. It's good though, isn't it, sir? I hope you enjoyed it. Some lovely, little music and sound design, and a good 20 to 25 minute cheap platinum as well at a couple of dollars. Number 190, Valentine Candy Break. Good to see you're falling under the curse as well, sir. Number 191, Hotchkiss. Well, there's a blast from the past, isn't it? I didn't realise people still did VNs these days with all the short, more affordable games as well. But congratulations, sir. I think I've done that one as well. Well done to you. And that brings us to two big milestones for this week. We've got Teresa, number 800. Congratulations, that is a massive milestone, 800 platinums. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Clearly not. Look, I've only played 5 minutes of that game, but the name was the whole reason I bought it. But I'm told it's not bad, and I think that is the second time you've done it. So I look forward to returning to that game at some point. And then the man of the hour, look, we'll get out his spam collection first, if you will. Boston George. Number 199, Midnight Deluxe. I need to appease the spam gods every now and then. May your platinums be short and low budget. How did you know that was my tagline, sir? Congratulations. We'll skip his milestone for the moment to come back. Number 201, Untitled Goose Game. From no plats for the year to 3 in a day. Thanks, spam. Fun game, though. Look, I don't know. Untitled Goose Game, of course, coming from the Australian studio that eludes my name down, I think it's Melbourne or in South Australia. It's a wonderful little game. I mean, maybe spam in that it's only, 3 to 5 hours, I want to say, but there is some skill there in the speed runs. And if you haven't played this game, whether it be Switch or on the PS4 or wherever, get onto it. It's a lovely little game. You get to play as an angry goose. Why would you not want to do that? And then for his big platinum, number 200, look at what a massive achievement, sir. Red Dead Redemption 2. Awesome game with a tough trophy list. Definitely worth a play. Look, there's nothing I can say about that from everyone I've heard talk about it. It's a massive grind. It's a massive realistic game. Everyone talks about it in awe that has finished it. Everybody that's stuck halfway is thinking of necking themselves, and everyone still to start is avoiding it. But look, perhaps we should commit to it, George, because it does sound like a wonderful effort. I don't think many of us will reach the platinum, but I do tip all my digital hats to you. It's a fantastic achievement and a wonderful milestone for 200. Well, there you go, listeners. Whether it be trophy 1,000, 5,000, 50,000, or the crazy 100,000, whatever you are bearing down on this week, I hope that what you're playing to get there is bringing you great joy and happiness. The year has barely begun, and there are so many wonderful titles already in circulation, with so much more to come. There's never been a better time to be gaming, and no better time than to grab a mate and talk some games. Look, we'll be here next week. Pull up a chair if you so wish. Join our conversation. Push to Plat. Have a wonderful week. Happy gaming. Be well. Game hard. Until next week. Push to Plat podcasts are conceived, written and edited by CJ Anderson in Adobe Audition, video editing in Filmora 9, music licensing by Artist.io. Push to Plat would like to thank all our Patreon supporters, with special mention to our Patreon producers Zador VP, Redbeard Rick, Ready to eBag, MZ Nitro, Diego and T-Bird. Without your support, this show would cease to exist. If you would like to say hi, jump into the Discord in the show notes or on Twitter at Push2Plat. If you're interested in supporting the show, then jump on Patreon, the Push to Plat Patreon, where you can find more information on how to support us and allow us to continue to bring wonderful guests and topics from around the world.